Wonderful. Welcome, everyone, to the Village and Town of Mount Kisco Board of Trustees meeting for Monday, October 2nd, 2023. We'll open this meeting, and if everyone can please rise and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we had started this evening a bit earlier with a work session on notification requirements and recommended changes to notification requirements. Again, that was a work session, and there's more work sessions to follow until we come to a point when we feel we have a solid draft. As with all changes to code, we will open a public hearing in order to have a conversation about the proposed changes, seek feedback from the community before we make any determination to move forward. We have first on our agenda tonight, communication. This is from our Chief of the Fire Department, Chief Hochstein. They would like to host their annual open house Fire Prevention Day on Sunday, October 15th from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. They're requesting that a row of the parking behind the Green Street Firehouse and parking on the roadway alongside the pond by the Green Street Firehouse be closed so that they can welcome people from the community to visit and share in learning more about their work and the very important work they do here in the community. So is there a motion to approve this request from Chief Hochstein?
So moved.
Oh, okay, I think I heard a moved, and I think there was a second in there as well.
Yep.
So on the any comments?
Thank them for taking the initiative to create this programming. It's something super necessary for the community. It brings us together, and it gives us the tools that we need to be safer and feel more secure. So I thank the fire department and Chief Hochstein for all they do.
Wonderful. So on the motion, Mr. Brancotti, please.
Deputy Mayor Ibsen.
Aye.
Trustee Patino.
Aye.
Trustee Schleimer.
Aye.
Trustee Bianchi.
Aye.
Mayor Pikinich.
Ms. Davis, can we please make sure that that's on the village calendar as well? Very good. Thank you. Next, we have no petitions, no board, committee, or commission reports. So we will pass over to our village manager for the water report.
Thank you, Mayor. So first we have for the total water production for the month of August was a little more than 47 million gallons, 47.2 million gallons for an average production of roughly 1.52 million gallons. That's almost equal with the July average and down from the June average of about 1.66. Byram Lake at the beginning of August was at 97% capacity. At the end of August was also at 97% capacity. The wells were on through August. I will let everyone know that the level of Byram Lake is at 100% capacity now. So the lake is full. Wanted to also share with folks that we have a change in the refuse collection schedule for next week, as village offices will be closed on Monday, October 9th. As a result, bottles and cans will be picked up village-wide on Tuesday, October 10th, and paper and cardboard will be picked up village-wide on Wednesday, October 11th, and then we'll resume regular Thursday garbage and Friday garbage. Lastly, Mayor, I did have a statement I wanted to just read in response to questions that were brought up at our last meeting. These were issues raised by Mr. Sindrich at our meeting last week, or 2 weeks ago, September 18th, regarding the local law that was adopted by your board, amending Chapter 89 of the Village Code at its meeting of December 5th, 2022. Village attorney and I reviewed the matter and wanted to offer the following. First, in our review, we have concluded that the village board properly adopted the local law. My office submitted the local law to the Secretary of State after it had been adopted, but it was never received by the Secretary of State. Once my office realized that we had not received back acknowledgement of the filing from the state, we once again resubmitted the local law in June of this year. And at the instruction and request of the Secretary of State's office, renumbered the local law in the filing from number 4 of 22 to number 2 of 23. We understand now that the filing issue stems from the fact that the Department of State cannot accept a filing where the adoption occurred in one calendar year and filing occurred in the next calendar year. This confusion has been resolved, and the law is now visible on the Secretary of State's website. Further, we are advised that the late filing does not invalidate the law. According to a New York State Comptroller's opinion on this topic, quote, "The filing of a local law with the Secretary of State subsequent to expiration of the number of days from the date of its final adoption does not invalidate the local law." Lastly, Mr. Sindrich had also mentioned that the local law stated that it was to become effective on the date of adoption, and that this was a change from the adopted local law, which stated that the law would become effective immediately upon its filing with the Secretary of State. To be clear, no change was ever made to the local law or its effective date after its adoption. We have confirmed that Section 9 of the filed local law properly states that this local law shall become effective immediately upon its filing with the Secretary of State of the State of New York. It appears that the confusion lies in Section 8923 of the Village Code, which states as follows: "This chapter is effective upon the date of adoption by the Board of the Village Town of Mount Kisco." This section of code, along with Chapter 89 in its entirety, was unanimously adopted by the Village Board on September 8, 2009, while Mr. Sindrich was mayor. That local law entirely repealed the prior Chapter 89 that had been adopted by the same board the year before on November 17, 2008, which established the village sign code in the first place, and replaced it with a new Chapter 89. Chapter 89 remains unchanged since 2009 until the filing of the local law this June 30th of 23, which did not amend Section 8923 of the code. That section remains exactly as it was written when it was adopted in 2009. In closing, the local law adopted by the Village Board last December now appears on the Secretary of State's database and is effective. On behalf of the village, I thank Mr. Sindrich and all for bringing this to our attention. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Brancotti. We'll move now into board reports. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. The stormwaters in Mount Kisco have subsided yet again. The realities of climate change cannot be ignored. With the steep topography in many locations in our village and much lower topography in other parts of our community, together with the active Branch Brook running through our downtown, the village needs to address seriously flood hazard mitigation plans. New York State Senator Pete Harckham, representing the 40th Senate District, was here the day after the rainfall, or the day of the rainfall, and has called for a formation of a statewide office of flooding and stormwater management to help municipalities like ours prepare for the increasing intensity of rainfall events and high-velocity winds associated with climate change. And we have experienced both of these here in our village over several years. And as well as aid in the cleanup and repairs needed when weather-related disasters occur, with other mitigation and post-weather event planning available through Westchester County and through New York State and through the federal government. Mount Kisco welcomes this additional pledge of support from Senator Harckham. We are on the threshold of embarking on a community-wide Complete Streets study, and I'm so pleased that we are getting so close. To remind everyone, the goal is to develop a comprehensive living document of policy goals, principles, and recommendations addressing pedestrian safety throughout the village, as well as addressing traffic calming measures and other recommendations related to on-street parking, safe multimodal transportation, and that means like scooters, bicycles, and rural pathways, which align with the New York State DOT and Westchester County planning and engineering guidelines. Once the Board of Trustees authorizes the contract with the Complete Streets consultant, our board will adopt a Vision Zero policy where we commit to zero roadway fatalities and form a committee of residents and community stakeholders to oversee the development, implementation, and monitoring of the plans. I look forward to the village board moving ahead with this safety initiative. Local organization Legado Latino and the Italian American Club will be hosting a community fall festival on Sunday, October 8th, this coming Sunday, and all are welcome to attend. My colleague, Trustee Karen Patino, is instrumental in organizing this event, and I'm sure we'll have more information for you in her board report. The Emergency Shelter Program is holding its yearly clothing and soft objects donation drive. On Saturday, October 28th, ESP will be collecting any used cloth items such as clothing, sheets, towels, curtains, stuffed animals, purses, hats, neckties, you name it. Even used sneakers and shoes. No donation is too small. We're looking to have everything put into large garbage bags, tied tightly, and delivering it to the St. Francis parking lot. I'm calling on all members of the community, including non-for-profit community stakeholders, to share in this fundraising event that assists those who are most vulnerable in our community during the coldest months of the year. To find out more, please visit emergencyshelterpartnership.org. And one further note, the Mount Kisco Interfaith Food Pantry is recognizing an increase in need at the food pantry. Over the last several weeks, more and more families are experiencing food insecurity in our community. The Mount Kisco Interfaith Food Pantry will be holding a fundraising event here in Mount Kisco at Captain Lawrence on October 15th from 1 to 4 p.m. At their Take a Bite Out of Hunger event. They promise suds, sliders, and songs, so that's a great combination. There are so many ways to help out the most vulnerable in our community. If you would like to find out more, go to mountkiscofoodpantry.org to purchase tickets for the event, to create a sponsorship, or just to make a donation. Thank you so much, and that's all for me for tonight.
Thank you. Trustee Schleimer?
Okay, just a couple of things. Following up on what the deputy mayor was talking about for Columbus Day, there actually, before the festivities, there will be a ceremony at the Christopher Columbus statue at 11 o'clock on October 8th. It's done every year, and it's something that people should make time to come to. I received a notice today from the League of Women Voters telling me that their online voters guide, vote411.org, went live today. I just also want to point out they have also notified us that they are not publishing a paper guide this year. Apparently, the decision was made at the county level that it is too expensive, and they decided to do away with it. So I got the notice about vote411.org. It asks you to put in your address, and then you can see the races that apply to your address. It didn't work, and so I notified them They have assured me that they have changed it for Mount Kisco. If you put in Mount Kisco with my address, I got Chappaqua. They have assured me that it was fixed as of 6:15 this evening. But if there are further issues, please feel free to contact me, and I will be in touch with them. I haven't had a chance to check it since we've been in meetings since 6:15. But what you need to do is you need to go online to find information that used to appear in the printed voter's guide, click on Find Out What's on Your Ballot, and it will list all of the races that apply to our jurisdiction. It is also supposed to tell us where the local voting places are. That did not work earlier today. Whether that works now or not, I'm not sure. Perhaps the mayor has information on where early voting is this year?
In the library.
In the library. That's very helpful. Thank you. So voter registration, apparently you can still register online to October 28th by mail, Saturday, October 28th, or in person, Saturday, October 28th. So there is still time to get registered, and you're encouraged to please come out and vote. Early voting starts on Saturday, September 28th, October 28th, and Election Day is the 7th. Of November. I need help sometimes. I wanted to acknowledge this month is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This year, in my immediate orb, we were touched directly, and so for all people who have people that they love, people who have suffered, people who have survived, and people who have lost people. I thought it important for us to acknowledge it. I just wanted to read a brief portion of the president's statement. I thought it was very touching. Cancer touches nearly every family in America. This National Breast Cancer Awareness Month let us all recommit the work of ending cancer as we know it. May we honor those we have lost, offer strength to those who continue to live with breast cancer, and work to protect the health of future generations. Nearly 300,000 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year, and 1 in 8 women in America will be diagnosed with the disease in their lifetime. For the lives we can save and those we have lost, let this National Breast Cancer Awareness Month be a moment of unity that rallies the country to end cancer as we know it. Together we can give patients, survivors and their families the care, hope, and support they deserve. Thank you. That's it.
Trustee Bianchi?
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to remind everyone the Mount Kisco Public Library is going to be closed Monday for Columbus Day. There's some really good programming going on at the library this fall, but one thing in particular I thought is really important. At the library, every Thursday at 3 p.m., they are providing a trained navigator. This person is provided by the Westchester County Department of Health, and they will be available to help anybody with choosing and signing up for health insurance under the Affordable Care Act and New York Health Marketplace. You do have to make an appointment, and appointments are available in both English and Spanish. And in order to contact them to either get more information or to make the appointment, the number is 914-336-6935. There's lots of other good things going on at the library this month. But this is critical because everybody needs to have insurance, and this is a free service, so you should take advantage of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Patino?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to those who are here in person. It's always nice to see faces here in the room, and encouraging to see participation. And so I just wanted to talk about some things that I took part of since our last meeting. I had the opportunity to travel to Dallas, Texas for the Emergency Response and Management Training Program. It's a scholarship fully funded by NALEO, National Association of Latino Elected and Appointed Officials. They sponsored from flight to stay to the entire programming, and I'm very, very thankful for that. And we learned so much. I was able to leave the program equipped with a certificate from the Department of Homeland Security on emergency preparedness training. It's a FEMA course on incident command system, on what happens and what should a policymaker be aware of when we encounter an emergency. That could be for flooding, that could be an earthquake, that could be shooting, God forbid, any scenario that we don't expect but that seem to be happening more and more. It was a 2-day training, and it just was a wealth of information. I'm putting together a couple of presentations so that I can communicate to the community the tools that we received as elected officials. There were at least 10 to 15 different states represented. So I was able to not only talk about emergency preparedness, but to also discuss different concepts and ideas and issues that we're all dealing with at this table. From leaders in California to Rhode Island to Maryland. It was so insightful, and I built meaningful relationships, and I'm excited to be able to add that to the toolkit to better serve you all. And again, I'm putting together some presentations so that we can all be aware of different steps that we can take as community members to just be safe and have the best the best case scenario and the worst scenario. And also to continue to develop on our own emergency preparedness plan. The incident command system was putting the emergency preparedness plan to use. And so that was very interesting. I was able to pull it out, actually. And I was given the opportunity to be the incident commander the day that we had to apply it. And it made me value even more so the role that our village manager has in the town. And also the value that our public safety fire department, EMS, that those who we work with, the building department, everyone has such a valuable role when it's a time of crisis that we need to continue to empower them with the tools that they need to better do their jobs. And so I'm excited to have more conversations and to bring that back. More than anything, it was the support and solidarity to our first responders, but learning that our first responders are also our village officials. So very thankful for that. I was also able to attend the Land Use Leadership Alliance training program that was provided, also fully funded by Pace Law School. They are a housing collaborative, and I was able to bring along a group of people from the village. Pete Miley from the building department came along, Mike McGurk, co-chair of the planning board, Karanja Elliott, who is a volunteer, and such a community member who's been involved in the community, has such a fresh perspective, and is committed to just seeing our village progress. And all of us, in collaboration with 5 other municipalities, discussed and learned more about housing opportunities And we focus on one particular zone here in Mount Kisco, to which we're also going to be bringing back a lot of information and tools so that we can see and better use the space that we already have to create housing opportunities for all of our residents in an inclusive manner. So our next training is October 13th. It's a series of 4 trainings, so I'm excited to bring you all some more updates on that. The Italian Hispanic Festival was already mentioned, but I do want to just let everybody know that it's a grassroots effort to bring the community together and enjoy and learn more about our cultures. The Italian community is large here. They have many similarities to the Hispanic community, and it's so nice to see us celebrate together. There's no need for division, just unity in our community. I want to lastly communicate that I will be hosting a virtual community forum just to update everybody on the projects that I've been working on. I don't want to make my board report take over, so it's an opportunity for all of us to learn what's going on.
Y como consejera es importante hablar con ustedes y darles cualquier información sobre los proyectos en cuales he estado trabajando. Esta sesión va a ser por Zoom el 9 de octubre a las 7. Entonces, si están interesados en participar, voy a mandar información por Instagram. Mi nombre es Karim Patiño, pero me pueden encontrar por trusteepatino@ny.gov. También quiero mencionarles que cualquier información oficial la vamos a compartir en la página de internet, que la están actualizando, la página, para que el Departamento Policial del Condado de Westchester también pueda poner su información y sea otra forma de comunicarse. Gracias. Y otras cosas solamente para mencionar, participé la semana pasada en consejeros del hospital de Northern Westchester. Hablamos sobre las capacidades de el departamento de neurocirugía. Entonces, hablamos sobre la tecnología que hemos conseguido y que están usando. Ahora hay una cirugía gamma knife y es un grupo de personas muy talentosas que practican cirugía cirugías de cerebro en el hospital de Northern Westchester. Adicionalmente, están haciendo trabajo en expandir el enfoque de practicar servicios de salud mental. Están colaborando con el distrito escolar también para los jóvenes, para hablar sobre los estudiantes que necesitan apoyo y mencionar las necesidades de salud mental. También COVID ha subido cantidades de personas que están enfermas, entonces pueden ordenar en los servicios de correo por si necesitan exámenes de COVID. También la venta de mayores que tuvieron los mayores es para apoyarlos a reunir dinero en nuestra comunidad. También quería mencionar y recordarles a todos sobre la exhibición de fotos en Mount Kisco. Es una exhibición anual y comienzan el jueves a las 5 en la biblioteca, en el cuarto de comunidad. Ya hemos mencionado el miércoles 4 de octubre. También vamos a tener un examen de sistemas de emergencias nacionales. Van a recibir mensajes de parte de sus televisiones, en la radio, sus teléfonos. Solamente va a ser un examen. Y también el departamento de PW, Dean y Steve en particular, salieron el sábado a hacer limpieza de nuestro pueblo. Durante un evento que haya tanto a lluvia, ellos han hecho todos sus esfuerzos para asegurarse que las personas están aseguradas. Entonces agradecemos a todos los que dieron todo su tiempo en asegurarse que todos estemos seguros y con la limpieza. Ahora vamos a hablar sobre el nuevo negocio. Lo primero es, hay una moción para apuntar a Alex Rothmeyer para un término completo en un asiento en la zona de la Junta de Apelar. Consejera Bianchi, de acuerdo. Teniente de alcalde Abson, de acuerdo. Consejera Schleimer, de acuerdo. Consejera Patiño, de acuerdo. Alcalde Pequenage, de acuerdo. Hay una moción para apuntar a Ken Goldberg como una alternativa a los de la Junta de la Zona de Apelar. Consejera Bianchi, de acuerdo. Consejera Schleimer, de acuerdo. Consejera Patiño, de acuerdo. Teniente de alcalde Absom, de acuerdo. Y alcalde Pequenage, de acuerdo. Ahora hemos revisado el de acuerdo sobre las recomendaciones y los cambios de AKRF para completar el estudio de las calles. No nos quieren dar una garantía porque están consultando, pero es algo que no me preocupa mucho. Los cambios están bien. Tuve una petición sobre clarificación de un cambio de parte de la teniente de alcalde sobre ese cambio. Está bien, entonces hay una moción sobre autorizar al jefe del pueblo para completar el estudio de la calle. Sí, de acuerdo. Yo también de acuerdo. ¿Hay comentarios? Solo quiero estar en grabación de que voy a estar en contra de firmar el de acuerdo. Siento que pudimos haber aplicado por una aplicación que brinden ayuda. Creo que el dinero lo podemos gastar de mejor forma. Teniente alcalde Absam, de acuerdo. Consejera Schleimer, no de acuerdo. Consejera Patiño, de acuerdo. Consejera Bianchi, de acuerdo. Y alcalde Pequeñez, de acuerdo. Estamos alegres de trabajar con ellos y tener un plan que nos asegure todos los que utilicen nuestras calles, los vehículos, la gente, las bicicletas, puedan operar las calles seguramente, con seguridad. Ahora tenemos una aplicación sobre la facilidad de telecomunicaciones que existe en la torre de la avenida de Mountain. Entonces, esta torre recientemente fue elevada para hacer espacio para que otras estén también las pongan ahí. Esta aplicación primeramente es con Dish para colocalizar las torres que ya existen. Entonces, solo quiero asegurarme sobre esta audiencia pública que hemos tenido la autoridad de hablar sobre la propiedad del pueblo. Esto dice que cualquier aplicación para permisos especiales fuera de la zona tienen que ser aprobadas de parte de la Junta del Pueblo para cualquier permiso especial. Entonces, lo que sí voy a mencionar es que Dish Wireless está en una posición difícil. Desean seguir adelante rápidamente, pero el problema es que tenemos problemas con cumplir con ciertos requerimientos. Y estos son requerimientos que les han puesto la Junta de Planificaciones. Entonces nosotros vamos a darles el permiso especial, correcto. Entonces mi pregunta es que hay ciertos requerimientos está en el párrafo H. Queremos asegurarnos que el porte sea correcto. Entonces, los permisos especiales son sobre mirar los áreas más impactados. Específicamente en nuestro código hay 4 requerimientos que han demostrado. El concepto es cuando aprobamos una aplicación, es que tenemos que asegurarnos que la altura de las torres estén correctas. Entonces yo lo que voy a pedir es que el señor Musso esté aquí la próxima audiencia pública. También tenemos presente el abogado que está representando al aplicante. Queremos que el señor Musso esté presente, aunque sea virtualmente, por si tenemos preguntas que tenga él que clarificar. Y también quiero asegurarnos que la Junta sepa exactamente lo que tiene que pasar y los próximos pasos. Entonces hay una moción para un permiso de especial para Dish Mobile para el 1 de la avenida Mountain, que va a ser la audiencia en nuestra próxima reunión el 16 de octubre a las 7 de la noche. Solo quiero asegurarme de algo. La reunión sería el 17 de octubre a las 7. Entonces, tenemos que darles 15 días de notificación, porque si lo publicamos mañana, entonces solamente le estamos dando 14 días. Entonces, vamos a ponerlo en el horario del 6 de noviembre. Entonces, ¿alguien va a hacer una moción para la audiencia pública del 6 de noviembre? Sí, de acuerdo, yo de acuerdo. ¿Comentarios? Bueno, tengo una pregunta. Solo quiero asegurarme que esto nos dé más ingresos, sí. Consejera Bianchi, de acuerdo. Teniente de alcalde Abson, de acuerdo. consejera Schleimer, de acuerdo, consejera Patiño, de acuerdo, alcalde Pequenes, de acuerdo. Entonces hay una moción de apuntar a FJ Olsen al comité financiero. Sí, de acuerdo. ¿Hay algún comentario? Teniente de alcalde Abson, de acuerdo. Consejera Schleimer, de acuerdo. Consejera Patiño, de acuerdo. Ahora hay una moción para pagar los biles para el periodo, aproximadamente 1.4 millones de dólares. Para el Fondo General, 113,000 dólares aproximadamente del Fondo de Agua, 644,000. 262,000 del Fondo de Biblioteca, 2,000 era del Capital, 402,000 del Fondo consejera Schleimer tiene preguntas. La página 16 de los ingenieros profesionales de DS Brownfield de $1,149.20. En la página 3 de 16, en la parte de abajo, Corsi Tire, reemplazar las llantas en los camiones de basura. Sé que es caro, pero tenemos $7,108.90. ¿Eso es más de un camión? No. Son 6 llantas, 8 llantas en cada camión. Son mucho más grandes y más caras. No solamente comprarlas, sino removerlas y volver a instalarlas. Página 10 de 16 en la parte de arriba. Tenemos a Mariela Ramírez de Servicios de Traducciones para la Junta de septiembre 8, $525. Yo no sé y agradezco de la razón por cual estamos haciendo eso, pero quiero preguntar si es que tenemos números o algún comentario sobre cómo estamos utilizando esto o cómo podríamos tener acceso de esto. Alguien me preguntó si es que quería ver esto en español, cómo lo puedan ver. Y no sé. ¿Hay información sobre cómo utilizarlo? Hay un canal en YouTube específicamente designado que está diseñado para la programación en español. Mencionamos esto cuando mencionamos que íbamos a traducir la junta y las reuniones. Deberíamos tal vez lo que podríamos hacer es que en la parte de arriba de la agenda podríamos indicar para traducción en español. Pueden buscar en YouTube Mount Kisco en español para que la gente podría tener acceso automáticamente. Está bien. En página 11 de 16. de Telecent LLC. Tenemos el bill de impuestos escolares 2023. Entonces, en la última reunión, estábamos pagando biles del 2018. Quería saber sobre eso. Le tendría que mandar la respuesta por correo electrónico porque no tengo esa información. En página 13 de 16. Están North American Inc. $2,725.75 por el periodo de 6 días. Quería saber por cuál razón tuvimos que conseguir este camión. Tuvimos que instalar equipo de comunicaciones de la radio. El fondo de agua, página 1 de 4. Tenemos A1 de los ingenieros. Servicios profesionales del 20 de agosto. Es el 20 de agosto, $4,868. Era para satisfacer las preocupaciones de DCs. Entonces, también tenemos los ingenieros de A1. Asumo que es la avenida de Maple. Sí, esa es la avenida de agua que reemplazamos en la avenida de Maple, que está avanzando un diseño del Departamento de Salud que lo aprueben. También $11,862.48. Esa es la cantidad. Sí, correcto. También la avenida de Crown, veo la cantidad de $3,160. Estamos comenzando el proyecto, ¿correcto? Sí. Vamos a, cuando ya terminemos el proyecto, ah, todo va a estar debajo de la tierra. También tenemos Capolas Servicios. La cantidad de $258,560. ¿Vamos a recibir ayuda para poder pagar por eso? Sí. Ya hemos asegurado los fondos para cubrir eso. El fondo capital, tenemos página 1 de 3, ingenieros a 1, $4,474.15. ¿Nos podría decir a dónde fue eso? Nos, disculpe, lo siento, el 2023, eso es para el parqueadero de policías, también el parqueadero aquí en el pueblo. Entonces, la cantidad de $6,256. Asumo que eso es para la calle Barker. Sí, eso es correcto. También tenemos Aqua Dynamics para arreglar la piscina, $23,000. Si habíamos hablado sobre eso, quería saber si eso es completamente la cantidad o si es que hay más trabajo que hacer. ¿Esa es parte del contrato? Entonces van a haber más biles para eso. Página 2 de 3 tenemos Intercounty Paving. Son $332,283. Eso es todo para mí. Entonces, señor Brancari, consejera Bianchi, de acuerdo. Teniente de alcalde Absam, de acuerdo. Consejera Patiño, de acuerdo. Consejera Schleimer, de acuerdo. Alcalde Pickenich, de acuerdo. Ahora tenemos los minutos de la reunión de septiembre 18. Hay una moción para aprobar los minutos. Sí, de acuerdo. Yo también de acuerdo. Hay comentarios. Sí, yo tengo 2 comentarios. Me habían pedido que incluya mis comentarios sobre el plan de preparación de emergencia. ¿Y por qué yo no voté por ese plan? Creo que el señor Brancari ya contestó sobre esos comentarios. Y también hay comentarios sobre usted no votar por esto. Yo estoy preparada para seguir adelante. Y los demás, señor Brancari, por favor. Consejera Bianchi, de acuerdo. Consejera Patiño. Consejera Schleimer, no de acuerdo. Teniente de alcalde Absam, de acuerdo. y alcalde Pequeños, de acuerdo. Bueno, consejera Patiño no estuvo en la reunión, entonces no puede votar. Hay comentarios públicos. Si es que hay alguien desde su casa que quisiera hacer un comentario. En lo que esperamos, si es que alguien desea hacer un comentario, están bienvenidos a hacerlo. Hubo una petición de parte del abogado del pueblo. Entonces yo voy a hacer una moción sobre ir a una sesión ejecutiva directamente después de la reunión. Teniente alcalde Abdon, de acuerdo. Consejera Schleimer, de acuerdo. Consejera Bianchi, de acuerdo. Consejera Patiño, de acuerdo. Y alcalde, de acuerdo. Entonces, si no hay comentario público, vamos a terminar la reunión y comenzar la sesión ejecutiva. La reunión ha terminado.